Mainly what I can say is that, it's a feeling here for me of comfort, inspiration, joy, stimulation, everywhere I look. If I get up in the morning and I walk from my house down to the market, I just feel so good. It's like poetry everywhere. A father and a little boy is walking, and the old lady is walking on the other side with her bags, and it's like theater everywhere. I don't want to put down the United States, but in the States it's more homogenized. Mostly people are doing the same things, whether they're in New York or California. But here, it's just so, it's more than inspirational. I just feel so at home, and I feel so welcome here. I don't think about exhibits. I don't think about how many pieces I need to have an exhibit. I just work, try to feel every day and take in the world and just work. It's a different way to live as an artist for me. I don't read art magazines. I don't really follow the art world, like the commercial art world in the States, the gallery world. I've been very fortunate to make a living, with galleries and had many museum shows, but the art world and all the talk, the art talk, I'm more interested in a common person and what they experience than the art world. I don't want to seem cynical, but not that I've done this as a strategy, but I want it to be joyful. I want it to be positive. I want to pull people to my work because I want to communicate with them. So I want it to be beautiful, colorful, honest, about my life and what I'm feeling, because I represent all the people in the world, right? And if I make something that's about, say, my grandmother, which I've done in paintings, it's not just me and my grandmother, it's all people and their grandmothers. So I'm kind of doing it for everybody. So in the future, if someone looks at these in 50 years or 100 years, and they'd say, well, this person was joyful, this person was honest, so it's fruit, and they're catching fruit. How simple of an idea is that about life? Life is fruit, and you have to reach for it. It's everywhere. That's a positive message, and there's not a lot of positive messages out in the media and in the public, in film. So, and we have to, compete with film and all these big crashing cars and movies, and then you're going to come in and look at a tapestry. So I want it to be different, When people come to it, they get a different feeling. Well, the first tapestry, just this black and white one back here, and I met Ruth. We talked about doing images. She chose Victoriano. She'd been working with him for years and years. She knew he had the skills. So she gave him that first image, and I saw the tapestry first before I met Victoriano. So that was my first experience. And the minute I saw it, I was so excited. And we started working on the other designs. And then the first time I went out to visit Victoriano, I mean, he's such a nice man, and he's so warm, and so just kind, humble, regular guy with all these incredible talents. And I was just so excited to see whatever he would do. When I went out there the first time, he was working on this large one, My Island, which is 8 feet wide, about 2.5 meters wide, 2 meters. And he had it on the loom, about this, and he was just working from the bottom up. And he had the drawing just up here with a clothespin, and that's all he had for a guide for making the image. I thought, they would have something behind the loom, like make the drawing big and put it behind the loom, but there's nothing. And so he just starts at the bottom. He has the little picture, he has a tape measure, and he knows, he's going to go from this big to that big. But it's a magical process, it's mysterious. So I've been out there now several times, and I stand there behind the loom and I watch him, and I still can't understand how he does it. With all these beautiful colored yarns, and he's drawing with colored yarns on the loom. And I still am mystified by that process. But the first time I met him, I said, I don't know your process and your technique, but here's the images. Try to get as close to the image as you can, but if you want to change something, if you think something might be a better color or it needs to be a little bigger, feel free, because I don't know your process, but here's what you start with. So it became a collaboration. Now on the big My Island rug, there's some rocks at the bottom of the island. He put faces in the rocks. And there's a horse. He put a blue eye in the horse. So I want him to have fun, is the point. I don't want it to be like a job for some American guy, I want it to feel like we're connecting through the weavings. And I think that's happened. But I'm just so excited to see them. That's why I keep doing these, by paying a commission basically to them to do these. And when I have the drawing, I just can't wait to see what they'll do with it. And then I see a picture, Ruth will send me an image, and I just think, wow, this is incredible. I can't wait to see the next one. So yeah, it's very exciting for me. I'm close to the images. It's like handing over your baby, to somebody. It really is an exchange between us.
Los señores que tejen mucho más allá de sus trabajos tradicionales, que eran gabanes con grecas. Unos más y unos menos, ¿verdad? Su habilidad, su creatividad para hacer cosas más difíciles. Nos trajeron algunas pinturas, los hicimos. Creo que Andrew lo vio uno de esos en la pequeña página de internet que tenemos y por eso trajo sus pinturas de él, a ver si había la posibilidad de hacerlo. Es algo difícil en la lana dar los brochazos, ¿verdad? Entonces sí, para él me tocó tener pura lana especial, que tratando de dar las tonalidades, y ya el primer tejedor que los empezó a hacer, victoriano, también él fue buscando, o sea, estábamos entre él y yo consultando colores, cómo podemos hacer eso, ¿verdad? Entonces ha sido una cooperación entre todos, porque ni nosotros sin Andrew, ni los tejedores sin la lana, ni nosotros sin los tejedores. O sea, es toda una cooperación para esos tapetes. Ir a un mundo de cierto grado de fantasía, pero a la vez sí tiene su mensaje basado en la actualidad, ¿verdad? Pero sí, me gusta mucho la manera en que lo maneja, es como no diría una crítica, pero una opinión sobre el mundo como es, pero con figuras un poco, pues como le decía, mágicas o de fantasía. Así lo veo yo por lo menos, no sé cómo lo diría él, de mi opinión, ¿verdad? Cada quien.
Honest approach to making art, just for yourself, not to impress anybody, not to go take over the New York art world. So my work, I don't know its place. I mean, I work every day. I'm always inspired. I draw inspiration, whether here or in Tennessee, from lots of different sources, whether it's books, history, artists, nature, my wife, people. So it's, I can't really say how it fits into the big art world. I know what I'm doing for myself to continue to be creative and to continue to have a voice and feel confident about what I'm saying in my artwork. So I really don't think about the bigger picture as much. Maybe I should, but I'm more looking for experiences, like coming here and connecting with the Serbians. And it's only because we went into this little store, Ruth's, to buy a sweater, and I started talking to her, and now we have this whole thing. 2 years later, now we have a connection with the Serbians and with Ruth and with the people here. All because I wanted to see these things made. I wanted to see what they would look like. Just one at a time. The first one and then the second one. Now it's 2 years and we have 11. You know, they're still working out there. So, hey, you know, in 20 or 30 years, who knows? We may have another generation of weavers and they grow up weaving art images. I mean, I think they should be honored for that skill. You know, around the lake, all the different crafts. You go to Capula, you can get ceramics, you can go to Santa Clara de Cobre, copper, everybody knows about those things. People don't really know about these weavers unless they go to the store, you know, to buy one. I don't think there's a long tradition, at least in Michoacan, you know, of weaving that kind of stuff. So I think this is bringing something to the culture here as much as, you know, we're taking, you know, by having these things made. That's what I think about with all my work. Time moving, how people move through time together. You know, we're making our own history. And I think, for me, the best feeling that I get out of this whole thing is we built this community in 2 countries, crosses the border, and it becomes one. Make you think about is time. You know, that's what I think about when I watch them work. Every row is time gone by, part of their life they're never going to get back. They're moving forward into life. So from the bottom to the top, it's a great metaphor for birth and death. You know, you're born here, you have this path, you know, you go like this all the way up. When you get to the end, and it's over. You can't start another evening, you know, it's only one and you're done.